I'm sorry about that. Ever since Elmore County Jail, I've had 3 teeth to go bad while in there. Had a right shoulder to literally just I'd say it's totally failed. Well, let's put it this way. Um, I'm not able to start any vehicle up, especially my truck. I can't put the key in ignition or go to the floor shifter and go from park to reverse to neutral to drive um, without being in excruciating pain. Um, I can hold my hand up, an arm up over my head, but once I get to a certain point, like about right here, I have to stop and use this hand to raise it up higher. And coming back down, I have to kind of do like that to let it down, because right at about the spot right here to right about there, um, it's a bad spot. Um, Pop, crack, um, hurt. So now, if I'm all the way extended, if I had the right tool, I could probably, hold it there for a while. But you never totally extend your arm when you're doing facial boards. It's usually about right here, about right there where you do it at. And that's right in that spot right there. To go up here is ridiculous, but right about here, close to eye level, where you can make sure you're getting a bit into the hole of the screw or whatever, you know, so I have to do everything left-handed. It's hard cranking the car with the left hand when I had to reach all the way over and mouse on the desk. I can rest my arm, on the chair, the armrest on the chair. But when I go to reach for the mouse, that weight of my arm bothers my shoulder greatly. Um, when I play the piano, I'm in pain. I was supposed to start an album last year, December 25th, but I was in Elmore County Jail illegally. December 25th, December 25th, 2022 marked my 50th year of ever laying my hands on some keys from a piano or organ or keyboard or instrument with those black and white keys on it. Um, it was Christmas morning. Um, it was an organ that my parents bought me. I think it was $34.99, something like that. Um, Play by numbers and letters. And in a few hours, I was playing the songs out of the book. Um, People knew what they were. I knew what they were, you know. And then that spring, they got me in piano lessons at Bethany Baptist Church in Syracuse, New York, 601 Irving Ave, under the direction of Mrs. Daisy J. Sherrill. And this past Christmas Day, December 12th. I'm sorry, I think about the 12th month, December the 25th, 2022. 12/25/22. That marked the 50th year. I was supposed to start an album that would celebrate 50 years of the anointing that the Lord laid on me. The very first song I played was "Oh, I Know the Lord Laid His Hands on Me." I took some lessons from a book called Edna Mae Burnham, Step by Step, books 1 through 6. Mrs. Cheryl started me off, and I noticed that at the end of every book, it covered everything that you did, that you learned in the book. And second book, same thing, except it covered what I learned in the first book and the second book. And so on book 3, book 4, book 5, and when she handed me book 6, I asked her if I could graduate if I was able to play the last song when I come back for practice next Saturday. I was like, Mrs. Cheryl, if I could play the last song in the book, can I graduate? She said, yeah. So all that week, I looked at that song, and that Saturday morning, when I went over to Miss Marvin and B. Edge's house, I practiced that song for about 30, 45 minutes or so. And then I went to my piano lesson. And that was it. As soon as I walked in there, I'm sorry. Soon as I walked in there, I had I had a big I had a big smile on my face and went to the piano, sat down, and I reminded her about me playing the last song and graduating. So I sat the book down there, sat it up on the where you place the book at on the piano, and I played that last song of book 6. And when I finished it, I think it was a Gospel Pearl. She put this book in front of my face and it had this song in it. She said, "Play this." I'd never seen it before. And I looked at it and I started playing it. I just looked at the notes and started playing the notes. And oh, I know the Lord. I know the Lord. I know the Lord has laid his hands on me. Oh, I know the Lord. I know the Lord. I know the Lord has laid his hands on me. I played it again. Next thing you know, that same day, during rehearsal with the choir, she brought me in, sat me down at the piano, and back then I didn't have any acknowledgement of anything, like to be ashamed playing in front of all of the kids who I grew up with or whatever, and never being on the piano. She called me up there to play, and I played, and they sang. Then that Sunday, I never forget, I sat up there on that piano. Everybody seemed like they was in shock. This is what I gather now as I see what went on, but people were coming over. You want a phone book to sit on? And I said, no, I'm all right. I was letting them know, no, leave me alone. I was focused like I am now, like I am today. I was focused on playing that song the way Mrs. Shaw taught me how to play. And one thing I hate is I never looked out at my parents to see if they approved of it, which I'm sure they did, because they're the ones who took me to piano lessons. But to see me sitting up there playing the piano from a book and the choir singing from it, I know my mother and father were very proud that day. But I just wish if I could go back, I'd like to see the look on their face. I didn't see the look on their face because I was too focused on Mrs. Sherrill, because she was the director. She had that kind of effect on me. She had that kind of effect on the choir too, because they used to stand up perfect. She would give them the cue like this. She would hold her hands out like that, give the cue like this, and that means come to the edge of your seat. And then when she went down and turned her fingers like this and came up like this, a movement like this, on that up movement, you were coming out of your seat all together at one. And it was a sight to see. There weren't stragglers, one here and one there and all that kind of stuff. No, this is the junior choir. Teenage children, teenage. And yeah.